The legalization of marijuana takes marijuana from the criminal justice system, where it never belonged, into the hands of personal choice, where it does belong. There are those that benefit from the use of marijuana, but legalization and marijuana's benefits for some should not overshadow the fact that this is not a harmless substance. CBD from hemp is pushed aggressively as a cure-all for a host of conditions for which there is no proof. As with snake oil, many people desperate for solutions to their pains and ills will spend fortunes based on hype, only to be sadly disappointed. CBD from marijuana is at least regulated better in the states where marijuana is legal for recreational and or medical use. Because CBD from hemp is poorly regulated, all kinds of claims are made as to its benefits. Often the only people benefiting are the ones making money from the products. As with all things where a lot of money is involved, the people that benefit from the sale of marijuana and CBD emphasize the pros, not the cons, of marijuana and CBD use. People with medical conditions that are told marijuana will help their conditions, and in some instances are being told to throw away their supposedly unnatural pharmaceuticals for natural marijuana, will have to discover for themselves whether marijuana is of benefit. For decades, people were told the worst things about marijuana. Now this is reversed, and marijuana and CBD are praised beyond what is reasonable. For those suffering from chronic and acute pain, insomnia, anxiety, and a host of other conditions in which marijuana, including CBD, are touted as the answer, many will be sadly disappointed. Marijuana has its own risks. The health benefits and risks of marijuana and CBD can easily be researched and should be researched before someone embarks down that path. There are short and long-term adverse effects on the brain, on overall health, on psychological health, on behavior, on motivation that some people experience, and that must not be minimized or downplayed. There's also the fact that marijuana use impacts motor skills. Driving under the influence of marijuana may increase with legalization and should not be ignored. Some people will find that consuming marijuana or smoking it makes them disoriented, agitated, anxious, clouded, and fogged, without any pain relief or positive benefit. It is even possible that for some, the negative effects of marijuana, including possible increased agitation, anxiety, and other adverse effects, will make them more inclined to use illicit substances that have not been prescribed for them. The argument made by some that it should be marijuana instead of opioids for those in chronic and severe pain is a weak argument. Opioids are highly addictive, but that does not mean marijuana or CBD are in any way an adequate pain reliever for millions of people in chronic, acute, and severe pain. There are other pain medications besides opioids with varying degrees of effectiveness. Managing and living with pain is a difficult road to halt. The exaggerated narratives about marijuana and CBD will lead many to disappointment and worse. Some people are told to stop their prescription medications and use marijuana or CBD instead. Marijuana and CBD are natural, they may be told, whereas pharmaceuticals are unnatural, harmful chemicals. They neglect to mention that cocaine, heroin, and opium are also plant-based substances. Being plant-based in and of itself does not make something harmless. If someone in chronic or acute pain decides to try marijuana or CBD out of desperation in some instances, know that it may or may not work. It may even come with some unwanted side effects. If you happen to be one of those for whom marijuana or CBD provides no benefits or affects you adversely, realize that you are not alone. If marijuana and CBD were all they are made out to be, especially considering that marijuana and hemp are some of the most researched and studied plants on the planet, they would already be the first line of treatment against pain, anxiety, insomnia, and more. Marijuana does not belong in the hands of law enforcement. There are compelling reasons for legalizing it and keeping it legalized in places where it is already legal. But marijuana, like alcohol, has its dark side.